What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. This is episode number 42 and we're starting today's episode off with finally a realistic offer for Jack Stephens. Turned down a few bids in the summer, including from Valencia, Club Brugge as well. But Patrick Vieira, obviously relegated with Crystal Palace last season, wanted to take him to Selhurst Park. Couldn't get any more money out of the Eagles, but for 5.5 mil, I will take it. Stephens out of contract at the end of the season. Long-serving squad member here, but let's be honest, with the new signings we've brought in, he's not going to get a game. Davinson Sanchez is in this season. Tosin Adarabioyo is in. We signed Mark from Crystal Palace last season. And let's not forget Jerome Martel out of the academy as well is here too. So Stephens going 5.5 mil. And I like that as well. Very realistic indeed. Stephens, he's got enough quality for the Premier League. Palace have already bounced back after one season in Challenge Japan. Palace have got a habit of having English defenders. You know, Nathaniel Klein, Joel Ward, James Tompkins, Martin Kelly. So yeah, I like that. Very realistic indeed. And Stephens off to Selhurst Park in January. Touchwood if the deal goes through for £5.5 million. Also, to start today's stuff, guys, I just want to say real briefly, I have got like these two massive ulcers on the bottom of my lip, and it's really painful to talk. So I sound a bit different today. I do apologise, but that's the reason why. And for those that have been picking up why I do sound a little bit different recently as well, I had an operation recently on my nose to correct my breathing, and I've got a cast on it, and that's why I do sound a little bit different right now. Hopefully not before long the cast will get removed, and I'll be back to my normal self. Anyway, yeah, first game of today's episode, Shamrock Rovers away in Ireland. Could not wait for this. Taking on the Irish side on match day 2 in the Europa League group stage. It's got a very early 2-goal lead as well. First to Brett opening the scoring, and then Gareth Bale half an hour in making it 2-0. As we took a very early 2-goal lead here in Ireland. I mentioned when the group was drawn, I don't know what it is, and I can't explain it, but I love facing Irish teams in Europe. It's just so fun, and I don't know why it is. I really don't, especially when I'm managing an English side myself. But even so, we were 2-0 up in the first half. Weren't really getting caused that many problems. Shamrock has a good chance in the second half here. What a fantastic last-ditch tackle, though, to keep it at 2-0. And then from that, we broke. And Brett who scored our first, sets up our third. Rolls it across the edge of the 6-yard area. Who's there at the back? Seek to turn in. Keane Lewis Potter might be getting a bit more game time this season, smashing it in from close range to make it 3 and wrap up the 3 points. So first win in Europe for Southampton on the back of the draw on match day 1 at home to Real Madrid. And you'll see the group after the game as well. You know, I do feel as though it is going to be us and Batiste that are top 2 and going for those top 2 spots. Obviously, Victoria Poulsen, the Czech Republic side, they've spent some time playing in European competitions over the past decade, but I do feel as though, as the group stands right now, this is kind of what I'm expecting for the rest of the group. We're a third of the way through. Us and Batiste have got 4 points each. Victoria Poulsen have got 3, and Shamrock Rovers yet to get a point so far. I think this is most likely, excuse me, how the group is going to go. So yeah, good start for us, undefeated, and right now us and Batiste neck and neck at the top, exactly what I was expecting. So following that, we negotiated the wage split with Martel for him to go to Burnley in January. I mentioned when that deal was initially negotiated, I can't wait for that to go through. Of all the clubs for Jerome Martel to be sent to, Burnley seems like the absolute perfect fit for our young French centre-half. I absolutely love that deal, so hopefully that will go through in January. And also as well, we had an academy update here too, and I gotta say, as we do our first scouting of the season, scouting the Netherlands, England and Ireland this year, wow, a couple of Dutch talents getting picked up in the first month, including this young striker, who I'm going to turn into a winger. With the pace he's got already, he's a right-footed player with 5-star skill moves and high-low work rate, 16 years old, good curve, good crossing, good dribbling, good ball control. I really do believe this guy's an inside forward on the left. It'll only take him 2 weeks to complete that position change. Well, this guy could be an amazing inverted winger as the years go by. So yeah, I'm going to change it to a left winger. Keep your eyes on him. 58 overall, 16-year-old striker. In 2 weeks' time, he'll be a left winger in our academy. If his potential is as good as it seems from the initial assessment, I'm excited. I'm really excited as Stephens' deal does go through here. He'll leave in January for 5.5 mil. Because, you know, Martel's come out of the academy and he's looked okay, but he's not progressing and he's lost his potential tag as well. Going to Burnley on loan hopefully will kickstart his career once again. Busquets, the academy goalkeeper, is the most exciting prospect in this team. Isn't going to get a game for realism. That's why we sent him out on loan to Augsburg. He's already grown 3 ratings, by the way, so very excited when he comes back to St Mary's. But we haven't got an outfield player at the academy so far that fills me with like genuine excitement. I think Marcel could be that guy. Anyway, for a second game of today's episode, Watford here. Taking on Roy Hodgson's side back in the Premier League after the relegation in Season 1. 16 minutes in, Gareth Bale opens the scoring. 4 goals in 7 games for Bale. And we take a very early lead here against the Hornets. Bale, you know, I said for this season, I didn't think he was going to be as good as last year. Well, as things stand, he's on course for a very similar season in terms of goal-to-game ratio. And soon afterwards, Ritsu bags our second, our Japanese winger, with his second goal in 2 in the Premier League to make it 2-0 as we had a 2-goal cushion headed into half-time. So at the break, still leading by 2. We had a reasonably difficult start to the season. No more difficult than the opening night loss to Aston Villa. We were thrashed 4-0. But since then, we've really responded. An okay run of form. Yes, we're out of the EFL Cup, but even so, undefeated in our first 2 games in the Europa League and in the Premier League as well. Trying to keep ourselves in the top 4 for now. And 4 minutes after the restart in the second half. Oh my goodness. Gareth Bale, I mean seriously, what a goal from the Welsh veteran. This was absolutely majestic. Gets the ball out of his feet, levers one for rage and finds the toppest of corners with that bullet. Oh my god, rocket right in the top corner. It's 3-0. Bale bags his brace and his 5th of the season already. And you know, it's crazy, you know, when we talk about Gareth Bale, you know, everyone will always remember, you know, his years at Spurs. You know, obviously he had the very tough start. There was that incredible stat when he first joined Spurs where I think, and I might be getting this wrong, but it was something like they lost like 15 games in a row where it started or something like that. I'm sure you know the stat I'm talking about and referencing here. That's probably not the right numbers, but even so, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. He had a very tough start. Obviously, he started off as a left back, especially the Southampton days. And then when he was moved further up the pitch and he really started to thrive, I mean, he looked unbelievable. Like a real talent as the years were going to go by. He had that incredible iconic night at the San Siro where he tore Maicon apart. He had this electrifying pace and he always looked as though he was going to take the next big step. When he did join Real Madrid, I think everyone was really excited for him to see what he could do, you know, on the biggest of stages, at the Bernabeu, playing Champions League football, you know, alongside a global icon in Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the greatest of all time. And, you know, it's crazy to think that, you know, during his time at Real Madrid, he was really, and let's be honest here, kind of vilified by a lot of Real Madrid fans. Now, don't get me wrong, not all at all. I know, and I've seen many Real Madrid fans, especially on Reddit, that have been defending him over the years. But there is a portion of Real Madrid fans that just never took to Gareth Bale. Like, they just never really took to him. And I think the reason why is because the standards are so high at Real Madrid. I mean, they're as high as they can get, really. If you're not winning everything, you're letting the team down. You know, it's like an unwinnable job, really. But even so, Bale, I always felt, and I know it sounds crazy to say, but I always felt he's an underrated superstar. You know, it's very rare for a player to be, you know, one of the world's global superstars, known by, you know, the vast majority of football fans, even casual football fans, you know, even those who don't even watch football will probably know the name Gareth Bale. It's unbelievable to think he was probably considered underrated during his time at Real Madrid. You know, at Spurs, he did everything he could there under AVB, and Mauricio Pochettino scored some incredibly iconic goals, particularly late game winners as well. You know, when he went to Real Madrid, he had some fantastic moments during the years he's there. And of course, he's still there now. We know he's going to leave at the end of the season. You know, some incredible, iconic moments. You know, that Champions League final goal against Liverpool. You know, one of the greatest CL final goals of all time. That iconic El Clasico final goal against Barcelona, where Marc Bartra still has nightmares of seeing Gareth Bale run around the outside of him on the touchline. You know, he had some incredible moments at Real Madrid. You know, and when you look at his numbers, the fact he had injuries during all the years he was at Real Madrid, so game time was inconsistent as well with team rotation. I really feel as though during his years at Real Madrid, he probably wasn't given as much credit as he deserved, you know, for being a Welsh player trying to adapt in a new league, a new country, you know, obviously, you know, playing second fiddle, sometimes third fiddle, fourth fiddle in a stacked Real Madrid offensive team. I think sometimes, like, Bale possibly, and as crazy as to say this, was considered a bit of an underrated superstar, during his time around. And I hope that when his career is all said and done, which unfortunately for football purists does look as though it's likely to be sooner rather than later. We already know he's talked about how if Wales fail to qualify for the World Cup, he might well retire. Whether that happens or not, I'm not too sure. I think he'll stay on personally, but even so, I hope you will remember the Gareth Bale that delivered iconic moments. He was a big game player so many times, both for club and country. We're talking with Spurs, Real Madrid, and also Wales. Even so recently, we don't need to go back a few weeks to remember his playoff goals and his playoff performance to get Wales to the playoff final. I hope people remember that Gareth Bale, and not the controversy at Real Madrid where it seemed as though he was always the forgotten man, the outcast. Because to be honest, I think he deserved better than that, personally speaking. Even so, during that game against Watford, we won by 5-0, and in the following game against Brentford, picked up a 2-1 victory in West London. Once again, Gareth Bale opened the scoring whilst Bees would level it. Che Adams won it for us in the final few minutes. And we talked about this earlier, Marcel de Koning. Look out for this guy. He's just jumped up 7 ratings after the position change. There's no reason this guy couldn't play as an out-and-out striker. We trained to finishing up. But, to me, an inside forward on that left-hand side. Man, oh man, I'm very excited indeed. I pray he's got an exciting prospect tag minimum for his potential. He looks absolutely phenomenal. And again, growing 7 ratings as well. After that position change there, he looks as though, to me, he could be an absolute superstar as the years go by for club and country. He looks really, really good. The reverse Iron Robin, perhaps, cutting in from the left and shooting with the right. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, our final game of today's episode was away in the Czech Republic. Match day 3 of the Europa League group stage as we take on Victoria Plzen. After winning match day 2 in Ireland, if we'd win this game here, we would feel for sure as though it was going to be us and Batiste challenging for that top 2 like we predicted at the start of the season. And 8 minutes into the game, after Ritsu fired our first attempt at the goalkeeper, we would see for the first time this season, and number 9 find the back of the net. Yeah, Adam Armstrong, who was pretty decent last season, yet to scratch this year until now. Gets onto the end of the free ball from Gareth Bale, who else involved in all of our goals so far this season, and Armstrong with a finish makes it 1-0. So in front away in the Czech Republic, and 43 to the chance to make it 2. A Brett G down the left-hand side. I still don't know what to do with a Brett G's cuts it across. Bale so close to extending his goal-scoring run. Great save, gets it 1-0 in the end. It did not matter too much. Final score in the Czech Republic, 1-0 Southampton. Reasonably comfortable game at 1. Wasn't really under much threat for the entire match. Defended really well too. And another clean sheet for Jordan Pickford as well. 2 in the Europa League already. I believe 4 in the Premier League too. Our new number 1 is off to a great start since coming in from the Toffees. So halfway through the group, there we go. Exactly what we predicted. Us and Batiste neck and neck at the top. 7 points each and 4 clear of Victoria Plzen. Beat the Czech Republic side on match day 4. That'll guarantee qualification in the Premier League as well. 5 wins in our first 8 games. 16 points on the board. And right now, in the top 4. Long way to go, but a great start for the Saints. But that will end today's episode of the Realistic Career Mode, guys. Big thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. If you had, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of the Realistic Career Mode very soon.